game was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
It was like they got whooped for the whole first half, but like I kept telling everybody that was with me, I'm like, Tom Brady, that's still Brady. He will come back.
Yeah.
He will come back.
Yeah, I ain't know what to expect for real. To be honest, like in the beginning, I was like, dang man, this thing playing out way too easy.
Right.
Looked like they was playing at a whole different speed. Atlanta was getting it. But
that jump turned out to be one of the best games of all time.
Yeah. But I mean, I called it because as soon as when I saw that Trump, I don't know for a fact, but I saw somebody post it. Blue Pill posted that Trump, he was going with the Patriots, and he said he had them by 8. I was like, what the hell? So I was like, that's interesting. I'm like, man, I think Patriots gonna win this game. And I texted Lee and Chris. I just put Patriots. I ain't say nothing else. And Lee was like, man, they get that. I'm like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that's crazy because Trump said it, Simpsons said it, and that game, it was, for a second I thought the score was going to be exactly what they said, but it was off.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
It was off a couple points, but yeah, it was crazy. That's a little creepy.
Yeah, what start made me think about the idea because everybody kept posting the meme with the Simpsons joint.
Yeah.
I found out later on that it was a little bit altered. So it did say Boston, but where it said Falcons, it said Springfield originally. But it was still interesting because Simpsons usually never wrong, though. So they be on
Springfield. Yeah, it's crazy because a couple years ago when the Broncos and Seattle played, it was kind of something similar.
Yeah.
Homer was watching the game, and they had the Broncos in Seattle in Super Bowl, and they had the Broncos. That was a little crazy too.
Yeah. Crazy, man. That's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Prince, man, you can go on and on, all the stuff they done mentioned, all the little slick stuff. But it's like the symbolism is important, man, because it's like that's why I was like, man, is it predictions or is this some script that they already know and following? Because you could kind of compare to, like, it's not just the Simpsons, it's like movies in general, like movies, like certain movie covers got like 9/11 representation and shows, and it's just crazy, man. I don't know. It make you wonder, like, are we missing something? Is this just the script they following protocol or what?
Yeah, it's really crazy. So I took the liberty, like, let me look up all these different Simpsons joints.
Yeah.
Just to try to see, like, all of them is not like crazy things, but it's just like, how did they know that?
Right.
97, they had the Ebola.
That Ebola joint is real crazy because I remember how everybody was so scared. Like, everybody was panicking, and I knew that's what they wanted us to do. They wanted us to panic. They wanted us to be scared, and we thinking it's something new, but come to find out, it was like, oh, and they got a patent on the joint. I'm like, what the hell? why you? So the word Ebola already clearly exists. Like, so it ain't new. They was trying to act like, oh, what is this? Like, y'all got a patent on that joint, and then they slick because they got little slick ways, like, because Bill Gates. They'll say something like, oh, Bill Gates donated $100 million towards Ebola research, but what they not telling you is, like, he got a claim in the patent too. He trying, you know what I mean? That's the rumor.
Yeah.
So they real slick, man.
And the whole thing is crazy because, like, Ebola, just comes from that, named after a river down in, I believe it's like Uganda, somewhere like that. Congo, one of the places. But, like, how did the virus get all the way over to West Africa?
Right.
Like, from a mosquito, he went all the way over there. And, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, it transferred all over here. So that whole thing was crazy. That whole thing was crazy, and it just goes away.
They made it
goes away.
It was so like they ain't had no control of it, but you know what I mean. Then all of a sudden, as soon as when the truth started coming out, like when people from Africa was like, no, it ain't what they claim it to be, and no, we not worried. Next thing you know, we don't hear nothing about it. It's like, oh, well, dang, that ain't work. So now they're gonna come out with another scare tactic, and people gonna keep falling for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just crazy, man.
But go ahead, say another one. Go ahead, you was gonna say. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like the Apple iPhone and the 94 episode, they had that.
Yeah.
And just the fact that Trump being president was on one of those as well.
That was crazy too. Yeah. Did you see the one where he supposedly in the casket though? Like I saw the meme, but I didn't see the original. Like I was looking it up to see if I could figure out if it was a real episode, but I ain't find nothing as of yet. But
I ain't seen it, but you know with technology you can do anything now.
Yeah, that's all. Like you can do anything. I don't know, because they was like Simpsons ain't been wrong yet, and they got him in the casket. That's interesting. Yeah. I was trying to find the original episode, but I ain't find it. So whatever. But yeah, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like people don't realize how like important or how images affect us and symbols and all that symbolism. Like the world revolves around that. Like another one was speaking of 9/11 was it was a show called The Lone Gunman. It's like a X-Files spinoff type joint. And then one of the episodes, a character in the episode had uncovered the U.S. government plot to fly a plane into the World Trade Center. I'm like, when I found that, I'm like, what the heck? And then it was like, they go into more detail. They was like, the plan was to do it via remote control and then blame it on terrorists. So I'm like, that they basically showing you the whole blueprint right there, and then like their meaning in the show was to increase military budget or some crap like that. I was like, that's some craziness right there. And look, 6 months after that aired, 9/11 happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, that was the main plot of that storyline. The character uncovered.
It's so many different stories and stuff. We was talking about the Matrix earlier, and then you know, his little passport that Neo was holding in his hand, and it said that, he's from New York, and it was 9/11. Where that's crazy too.
Yeah, it said it expires right on the exact date. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And everybody know that by now, but the $20 bill, you fold it a certain way. The Twin Towers are burning, but not only burning, but they burning exactly like how the main image showed. Like one of the flames was a little bit more fuller than the other, and it's like literally the same image. I'm like, golly. So then if you look at it the other way, it showed the Pentagon on fire. I'm like, what's the odds? And the Pentagon ain't have no trace or evidence of a darn plane landing or crashing in it. I'm like, but, I don't want to be distasteful because some people still really believe that stuff. Like, they really think what America says happened. So, people still lost their lives. So I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I'm like, the evidence it ain't adding up.
And here's this thing for this evidence. We talking about 9/11, and we talking about Muslim ban.
Yeah.
And then when you look at all of the countries that's on the Muslim ban, the people that flew the planes were supposedly from Saudi Arabia. But how come Saudi Arabia is not one of the places that's on the Muslim ban?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like,
crazy, man, it's like so much evidence. And like with that, the people that supposedly flew it, they had their IDs with them. Like it's real convenient that everything else on the plane was so damaged. Like I remember they said, it took us a while to get to recover the black box, because that's how much damage was done and that's how much stuff was burnt up. But their IDs you was able to read their IDs and see their name. Like, oh, I'm like, yeah, that's real convenient. Everything else destroyed with that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Everything would have burned up. But it's it's like just in TV in general, it's like everything that we see, you know what I'm saying, whether the Simpsons not the only one, Family Guy, they had the Boston Marathon, Peter, you know, when they had the car and they ran through the parade basically on a car, you know, and then like the bomb that happens in Boston at the marathon.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though. They keep doing it. It's like crazy. Like, is it?
Right.
Like, man, is we tripping? Maybe we need to start paying better attention to the signs so we could be ahead of the curve, because it's just crazy. Like,
right.
One thing. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say it's almost like, is it that it's a coincidence, or is it just that somebody saw it, decided that would be a good idea, so let me do that? You know
right. I was thinking of that too, because I'm like, you know, you gotta look at it from all sides. Like, maybe it was inspired by what somebody else wrote. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, that's a hell of a coincidence, the way they do it.
Right.
It's the way they do it. It's like, so even if, let's say this then, all right, so the way the Twin Towers look like how they burn, I mean, we done like saw it in from multiple sources, like the $20 bill, the Simpsons, you know what I mean, all these different, I'm like, the way it was done, like, how the heck they going, all right, so you got to fly the plane at 30 degrees to make it burn like this. Like, how the heck? Come on, man. That's like crazy. That's a hell of a coincidence.
Right. And all they did was want to learn how to take off, and you can do that.
Teach me to fly. Do you want to know? I just need to get up in the air. Like, crazy, man.
I wish I did that when I went to get my license. I just want to know how to take off. That's it.
Right. Right. Man.
That's funny.
But one of the things I thought about, right, so the reason why it's important, because, like, all right, so I saw a clip. This one really made me like, man, maybe we need to look into this, because, like, I saw a clip where somebody else had noticed that Obama had slipped up and said something like, he was talking about Russia, basically, and he said something like Russia was responsible for nuclear missiles in Manhattan. And I'm like, what the heck? Obviously, that ain't happened yet. So I'm like, what the heck is that about? So someone else pointed out with the $100 bill, and I'm going to probably have to sign it and, like, upload it on, you know, during the clip. But, like, if you fold it a certain kind of way, it looked just like Manhattan. It looked like a missile that went off into it. So I'm like, is that something? Is that the next one? You know what I mean? Like, what the heck?
You talking about the new $100 bill?
Yeah, it's probably the new one.
Oh yeah, I rarely see them, John. So I don't.
Yeah.
Everything's so paperless, so cashless.
I forget.
Direct deposit. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna show it though in the clip during the interview, like during the podcast. I'm gonna show it. Yeah. I saw somebody do it on video. I watched it on YouTube, and they folded it up, and it looked like just like Manhattan buildings, and then you could see like a missile, like a missile had went off in the giant. I'm like, what the heck? So that's why I'm like, that's crazy. So
that's
for him
crazy.
to see right there, like for him to mention it already, so that means. All right, it ain't happened. So, like your theory just now, right, where you said maybe somebody just took the idea. But I'm like, he mentioned it. I don't know if that was a slip up or what. But he's like, Russia, yeah. You know what I mean?
Speaking of bombs, but like, you watch SpongeBob?
Nah.
But it takes place on a place called Bikini Bottom, and I was speaking to this guy, and he's from the islands, out Pacific Islands, and from a large time period, the United States was testing nukes, and basically forced a lot of people off this island, called the Bikini Islands.
Okay.
And So the bombs, they would test the joints in the water, test it in the air, and test it in the sea. So, and they would test them on the animals that was there. They had the animals there. So, ironically, this, SpongeBob takes place, and it's a bunch of animals that can now talk and different things like that.
Right.
What happened at Bikini Bottom.
So that's
the actual cartoon.
I got see what you're saying.
The actual cartoon is the actual, what's the name? So, they always putting, actual facts and stuff in the form of entertainment. Yeah.
That's deep. Your subconscious mind picks up on stuff like that. Even though you consciously not aware, your subconscious mind be picking up on stuff. So, like with images and symbolism, that's the main thing, your subconscious mind. I had looked it up, and it was it's basically like your memory bank, man. Your habits and all that stuff is formed, your personality, all that stuff is formed from off your subconscious mind. So, if you was if a dude was to be out and about, and he got anything that represents a rainbow, what you think people gonna think? You know what I mean? That's how little subtle things like that. Images is powerful. You know what I mean? That's how they can communicate. And even when you're not thinking about it, you're just oh, you know what I mean? Something as simple as a rainbow and something as natural as a rainbow, you associate that with gay now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I go. A girl would be like, oh, he's gay. Can't even appreciate colors no more. Something so natural, something that's just divine, just show up in the sky. God.
Right.
And it's crazy how things, that's how it be, though.
Yeah. It just reminds me of, how, Hollywood is just smoke and mirrors, that hit that magic, you know what I mean? So it was just kind of there's a lot of stuff really coincidence, like you said, or there's stuff really written and is it planned, or it's some people just seeing stuff and copying. Yeah.
Well, just listen to what you just said. Hollywood is based on hollow wood. That's the actual magic. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's funny you say that.
Damn it.
It's funny you say that because big Harry Potter fan, and the only wand the only tree that you can use to build a wand was with Hollywood.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's right there.
So that shows you how they use it. They literally use it as a tool for imagery, and it's powerful, man.
Right.
If you think it's not powerful, go and watch that. I know you have. I'm just saying in general. Go and watch that. What is it called? The doll baby test or something like that. That's how powerful images are. It'll make you start thinking lighter is better and darker is evil and ugly and bad. You know what I mean? Right. That's how powerful images are, man.
Mhm. Yeah. Images are very powerful.
And it's a lot that we probably I know for sure I ain't connect all the dots. I'm a little bit hip, but it's so much symbolism. Even the past one with Beyonce and how the light came out, it was a lot of stuff going on through that game.
When the Ravens and 49ers played.
Yeah.
It
was a lot of stuff going on around that time.
Yeah,
she was crazy. Black Panthers, I remember that.
You said the Black Panthers, think about that Super Bowl. So now you have this guy named Cam Newton, you know what I'm saying, going against the Broncos and the man whose nickname is the Sheriff in the Bay Area in the 50th year of the Black Panthers.
Talk that talk, man. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean. It's so much crazy symbolism. Yeah. And even that game, I was talking to a couple people today and past few days, man. Everybody I don't know if I can enjoy the games no more because it seems like they are really rigged. How the heck you got one of the best running backs, and you only got an inch to go? You can sneeze an inch. You know what I mean? And you're not gonna run the ball. You gonna throw the ball. I'm talking about
the Seattle.
The Seattle.
Yeah, that's crazy because it's it's almost like they have something against Marshawn and you got this baby face little image, you know what I'm saying, and Russ, no disrespect to him or whatever, but like they wanted him to be the hero instead of just putting the drain in the end zone. Right.
Yep. Exactly.
Everybody knows you don't throw the ball on the goal line unless you're going to do a play action and throw it over to the tight end.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you got like
the beast. He could.
You got Calvin Johnson out on the end or something. You know.
Yeah.
Well, throw it across the middle though.
He gonna throw it, and the dude jumped the route like he knew exactly what the play was. That's what I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cause somebody asked me, they was like, "Man, if it's rigged, like who in on it? How many people in?" I was like, I don't know, man. I don't want to be so far left that like, cause I know a lot of conspiracy theories. They be reaching. A lot of them be reaching.
Yeah, they reach.
You know what I mean? Like go too far deep, but
they be like, "Oh, did you see the way that Obama winked at the audience?" Like,
yeah.
It's like it's not that serious. It's just to me, it's just a strange coincidence. That's all I'm speaking. I don't know. And it's just odd that you got Huey P. Newton and the Black Panthers and Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers against the Sheriff.
Right.
You know, in the Bay Area.
Is it a script, man? Is it a script? That's why I was like, man, we need to. It's something we gotta investigate. We're gonna have to do another part 2 to this. I need to do some more research. I had a busy week, man, but yeah, it's definitely something to look into. I know you, man. There's so much stuff, me and you could talk about as far as the conspiracy stuff, and not so much the Illuminati. I hate, man. Like I'm tired of seeing people talk about Illuminati because a lot of people that talk about it don't even know what the hell they talking about.
Nah, they don't.
You know what I mean? It's like the boogeyman effect. Like, oh, Illuminati and this, that. Like, I ain't gonna lie, we was all at one point like that, though. Everybody was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Look at the hand that threw up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
But then you realize, then you realize that it's so much bigger than that, and it's like you really don't want to unravel too much. It's like my mother used to say, don't pull the string on your shirt because you don't know what you're going to pull the whole joint. So it's like a lot of people that say stuff is Illuminati, a lot of the stuff is really not. So they really don't want to bark up that tree.
I'm glad. Yeah, that's the perfect way to say it. Because to be honest, it ain't. You know what it is? It ain't for everybody, for real. You know how like you got grade school, you got certain levels, and you got college, and you got your math. There's levels to this, for real. Like a lot of them symbols that people think is evil, and they just don't know the full meaning, for real. It ain't for you. It means you're not ready yet. That means you still in 6th grade. Stay there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
For real, like, because a lot of that stuff ain't really what they make it out to be. And not only that, but you already going, if you're going to go at it that way, then you already defeated. You know what I mean? Your mentality, because you know what you're going to say? Everything you do, Illuminati going to crush it. Illuminati, oh, man, they too powerful. And then, like, let's say somebody great do something, people going to take away their shine because people going to say, oh, they wouldn't have been able to do that if it was Illuminati, you know what I mean? The power that be let them do that. You know what I mean? So coming from that standpoint, man, you're going to always be defeated. You coming from a victim, and I hate that. Like, you can't tell me it ain't nothing possible, man. Whatever. I ain't got no loser mentality over here.
Right. I mean, you know, what I always measure it like this. The first time somebody mentioned them, and the first thing they say is, oh, Jay-Z or Beyonce, I shut it down right there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What was my old freestyle? I forgot how it goes. Yeah.
My mama
it was something about Forbes. The people on the Forbes. I'm like, man, the people that's really running it ain't on that damn Forbes list. I keep thinking.
Exactly.
Not to say that they couldn't be using them. You know what I mean? In some ways, yeah, they probably could be, but you know what I mean? Nah, it ain't.
Yeah. The people that really have the power at beat is not nobody that's like
flashy
on that level. Yeah, it's not on that level. We rarely see them.
Right, yeah. We don't even hardly know them.
Exactly.
People that do know him, because there is some people that be pointing, like, they be like, man, such and such, and this, that. I mean, we know some of them only because if they are in the family tree of, like, your J.P. Morgans and, you know, stuff like that. Like, them, then, yeah. But ain't nobody going out there. Ain't nobody, they, you know. You know what they rather do? They rather say Jay-Z. You know? They rather pick an easier target.
That's because, like, we don't research, and we lazy. We lazy. Like, we rather people do the work for us. So it's easy to click on YouTube and hear some random person just shooting their guns, don't know nothing they're talking about.
Right.
We be like, oh, that's facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They woke.
Right.
New generation of woke is so damn suspect, man. Like I told you earlier, they in coma damn near. They ain't woke nothing.
It's so funny you say that because right now it's almost like, not to go too far off subject, but it's like we living in the 60s again.
Mm-hmm. You gonna have to explain? I said you gonna have to explain that one.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like in the 60s you had this huge power struggle in America, and it was just like, you know, it was the rise of black consciousness. Now everybody's woke, and you had a huge homosexual movement was right, you know what I'm saying? And now it's kind of the same. Yeah, and then like you had a lot of feminism movements popping at the time, and now here you see that again. Even, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it just seems like, and then that the white nationalists like was like really popular at the time, and we see that again. It just almost seems like I ain't saying we back in the 60s, and then it's like
cycles.
Yeah, and we know history repeats itself.
Yeah, ain't nothing new to the sun.
Nah.
But we supposed to be learning from it. You know what I mean?
Right. And
we definitely are, like, in all these, like you say, there's so many daggone groups now, and like, it's all distractions for real.
Yeah.
Like, it's all distractions because what y'all really, you know what I mean? What y'all really about? Like you said earlier, like you say you woke, but what you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you doing? You awake. Now what?
Yeah.
So
it's just one of them terms that people throw away. Woke, just a distraction, and you know what I'm saying? Like I can't celebrate Beyonce having a baby.
Right.
At the same time, know what Donald Trump is doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I celebrate her too much, then I'm distracted.
It's funny you say that because I shared a picture with Leah Mean, and it was so spot on, and I was like, that's the truth, because it said something like, oh, you mad at me because, and it was a female that posted it, by the way, and they was like, you mad at us because we happy for Beyonce, but y'all say, Dad, you don't even know her. Why you so happy she got a baby? But y'all the same ones looking at the Super Bowl, acting like groupies, rooting on these other men that you don't even know for real. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, that's a good point. Yeah. On that note, checkmate.
Right.